Place to be Nation, welcome to episode number 1 of the What If the NHL played a full 2019-2020 season simulation. As you may have seen already, we have a similar series going for the NBA and also the Major League Baseball seasons that were cut short due to 2020 doing what it's done to everyone. This will be done through Franchise Hockey Manager 6 on the PC. It's a very much similar to the out the park baseball that I'm using for the Major League Baseball simulation, and also very similar to Football Manager or Soccer Manager, whatever it is known as in your neck of the woods. It's very similar to those. It's a bit text based. This one more so than Out of the Park Baseball. It is made by the same people, but slightly different on the hockey front of things. So this first episode will just be a quick introduction, or a as quick as can be introduction, and also simulating enough games to make sure that everyone has played at least once to kick off their season. So opening night is only got 4 games, and then we'll see where it takes us to make sure that everyone gets a game under their belt before we finish up for this episode. So we begin with a roundup of some transactions because it happens in the off season. The NHL teams are doing trades where the others in the other ones that they haven't been doing so. So I'll run through these quickly. I'm not sure if they're big trades or not. We'll run through them as quickly as I can. So Avalanche and the Ducks have finalised a trade. Colorado are getting Carter Rowney, and in return Matt Nieto will go to Anaheim. I'll try my best here. Mika Salomaki is going to the Predators. Is going to Washington, and Carol Hagelin is going to Nashville. Nashville in trade discussions again. Drake Caggiula, I'll go with that, is going to the Predators, and the Blackhawks will receive Kyle Turris in return. We have negotiations been happening between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the New York Rangers. Adam Clendening is going to New York, and Mark Stahl and the rights to Riley Hughes are going in the opposite direction. More New York trade dealings, but this time with the Islanders. They'll get Pavel Zacha and Brian Strait in return for Ross Johnston and the rights to Cole Koski. Dominic Toninato is going to Calgary in return for Cam Talbot, who is going to the Florida Panthers. The Rangers send Jesper Fast to Boston in return for Chris Wagner, or Wagner, depending on how you want to say it. Devils and the Rangers are involved in the trade. Michael Jukojevic, is going to the Rangers in return for Chris Kreider. Cam Talbot has been waived by the Florida Panthers. I am sure that he was in part of a trade earlier on. I could have been wrong. He has been. So he's been punted to Florida from Calgary as part of a trade, and the Florida Panthers have just are binned him. They're putting him on waivers. And Nicky Holden and Derek England are heading to Boston from Vegas in return for Per Lindholm. So I'm very sorry for butchering some of those pronunciations. They may get better as I go. They probably won't, unless you tell me down below. So if you've got comments on my pronunciations and how I should properly say them, please let me know. Also, please let us know in the comments below who you support in the National Hockey League. I know we've got some hockey fans. We've got some Rangers fans. There's some Islanders fans. We also have some Canadian personnel as well. Just to so let us know who you support in the comments below, and we'll point out to see how your team's getting on through the season. So this is the schedule for week 1. For day 1, sorry. We've got the Canucks at the Oilers in an all-Canadian match. You've got the Capitals against the St. Louis Blues, the defending champions. You've also got a rivalry game between Ottawa and Toronto. And we've got San Jose travelling to Vegas to play the Golden Knights. Now, as much as it would be good to see the defending champions, I think we'll take a look at the Senators Maple Leafs game. So we'll leave that one till last, and we'll simulate the rest of them on here. So we'll first load up the Canucks travelling to Edmonton. Obviously, we don't have much form to go on as they've not been playing. But you've got some milestones that could be reached tonight. Obviously, you've got Joakim Nygard playing his first game in the National Hockey League, according to that down below. So a win to start off things for the Edmonton Oilers. They've run out 2-1 victors in the opening game. There is some they were injuries beforehand. Sorry. So you have some good performances. Pettersson, Demko, Horvat for Vancouver. You get McDavid, Koskinen, Jones. And the other one who I will not even pretend to say. But a good start to the season for Edmonton on there. So we'll just come out of here. We'll just go back to the schedule and we'll go again with the defending champions St. Louis Blues against the Washington Capitals. The Blues hope to get off to a good start, and they do. They come out with a 5-4 win in overtime against the Capitals. So they scrape through there, and a win is a win at the end of the day. Pick up 2 points to go onto the league table with the overtime win there. But they've eked out a performance of champions, quite possibly there. Good teams win when they're really not meant to, and that is possibly the case there for St. Louis. Similar score here, but we get our first road win since San Jose Sharks 5-4 again in overtime against the Golden Knights. So we'll go and we'll view the Senators against the Maple Leafs on here, and I'll just make some changes so we'll view the game. First game of the season, and you're opening against a bitter rival. That's okay there. So we are off and running. So we'll go through it as quickly as we possibly can. It will stop for goals. So if there's a break in play, you know that a goal is coming from one side or another. The Maple Leafs peppering the Senators' goal here. Eight shots on goal in the first half of the first period. So nothing between the two sides at the minute. There's been 11 shots on goal for the home team. So they've been, as I say, they were peppering the goal of the Ottawa Senators in the first period there, but nothing to split the sides just now. Again, much like I've said before in the simulations for the NBA and MLB, please let me know if this is going too fast, too slow. Any feedback you can or any suggestions are greatly welcomed. As we finish the second period, we head into period number 3. It's becoming a bit more even. Ottawa coming back into it. as we're going to get a shot here. And we have a goal from William Nylander for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Assists by Austin Matthews and Andreas Johnson. We have a goal, the home side, who were on top for the majority of the first period, withstood a barrage of shots in the second, and they go a goal ahead in the third period. But we're getting something back here. And Ennis has put it in. Tyler Ennis has equalised quickly for the Ottawa Senators. So the Maple Leafs weren't ahead for too long. So we're back on an even playing field here. As I think we're going to get another goal. And it's a breakaway. And Nielsen puts it in the back of the net. It's not, sorry, Nielsen, sorry, is the Senators goalkeeper. It's Jason Spezza who's put the ball in the back of the Ottawa net. And the home side are back ahead. Now they have kept the lead for a lot longer than they did before. Dueling penalties here. We're coming into the last 5 minutes now of the game as the Ottawa Senators get somebody in the penalty box. As we're going to get another goal here. From who though? Ottawa have the ball so far. They're keeping it in around the Toronto third here. A long build up. We're into the last minute. Looks we've got an extra attacker on. Ottawa have gone empty net. And here we go. Morgan Riley has put the ball into the empty net off the back of the face-off. It is 3-1 now to the Leafs as we finish the game. So first blood in this rivalry. So for the season, the Maple Leafs take this one 3-1. And a good start to the season for the Leafs. So that was opening night. Good wins for the Leafs and the Oilers, for the St. Louis Blues and the Sharks in overtime there as well. So an action-packed card for night 2. We've got the Coyotes visiting the Ducks, Canadians travelling to Carolina to face the Hurricanes, the Flames and the Avalanche, Bruins versus the Stars, the Wild travelling to Nashville to face the Predators, the Jets come over the border and they go to the Garden to face the Rangers, the Sabres and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Florida Panthers against the Tampa Bay Lightning in an all-Florida clash there. So what we will do is we will just go on to that game there. So we've got an injury report here. Brent Burns is out with an injury. He was injured while skating. He has ruptured his bicep and is expected to be out for 6 months. So that's a good chunk of his season lost already in the first game. So that's not a good start to the season for Brent Burns there. So that's just some general league news there. There are your standings in the 4 divisions. Obviously not much to report on this one so far. Obviously we have only played the 4 games, so only 8 teams have played out of the 31. So I feel like, personally, I feel that may be a good way to to run through things. You may feel differently. Please, as I said, please let me know. Um, just whilst we're running through some loading screens here. Um, why are more people playing? Okay, so that's actually played through. Uh, played through another couple of days. So the we have missed Thursday, the 3rd of October. So I'll run through the scores from that one. But I'll run through the news for Friday morning. So Carolina Hurricanes centre Sebastian Aho, he has sustained a torn abdominal muscle and is due to miss 9 weeks. There's been a trade between Florida and Detroit. Mark Pysyk is going to the Red Wings for a third-round draft pick in the upcoming 2020 draft. And Montreal will send Nate Thompson to the Anaheim Ducks for Ryan Miller and Patrick Eaves. So let's first of all go to the previous day. So, as I said, there was a good few games on. The Coyotes travelled to the Ducks and took 4 goals off them. They won 4-1. It was a close game between the Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes coming out 4-3 victors there. The Avalanche score a goal in every period and win 3-2 against Calgary. Comprehensive victory for the Dallas Stars against the Bruins. They run out 6-2 victors in that one. A good comeback victory for the Minnesota Wild. They won 3-2 at Nashville. The Rangers pipped the Winnipeg Jets in a 6-5 with a 6-5 victory in overtime. So Rangers get off the mark in the first game, as do the Buffalo Sabres. A come from behind win to beat Pittsburgh 4-1 in Pittsburgh. And the All Florida clash, Florida Panthers 5, Tampa Bay Lightning 4 after in overtime. So if we go to the standings, Detroit in the Eastern Conference, the Atlantic Division, the Red Wings have still to play. As do the Blue Jackets, Devils and Islanders and Flyers in the Metropolitan. The Kings are still to play in the Pacific and the Blackhawks are still to play in the Central. So we are looking as if we're going to be playing. Yes, I believe we're going to get all those played in this one. So first of all, we've got Toronto and Columbus. So the Maple Leafs got off to a good start, beating Ottawa. So they've already played, and Columbus are playing their first game at home. And they come out with a 5-1 victory over Toronto. So that's a fantastic start to the season for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Comprehensive victory, 4 goals in the first period, and after that it was just about seeing out the game, I feel. Yeah, that's a hell of a way to come out. They scored their first goal very early, 5 minutes 10 into the period. So that's the way you want to start your season. Comprehensive victory at home, and just come out the traps absolutely flying. And speaking of flying, we're going on to the Winnipeg Jets now. They're travelling to New Jersey, who are playing their first game of the season. The Jets lost in overtime in their last game, so hoping to get off the mark with this one. And they most certainly do. A 6-2 victory in Jersey. That's a hell of a comeback there. Not the best first game in front of your home fans for the Devils this season. Winnipeg had 3-0 in the first period. They scored another 3 in the second period, and then it was just about seeing out the 20 minutes after that in period number 3. The Capitals travelling to the island. They play the Islanders. Excuse me, and it is a victory in their first game of the season for the New York Islanders. They came out 3-2 victors. Against the Capitals, who are still looking to pick up their first win, and it was a come from behind victory. It was Washington were 1 up after the first period and then 2 up after the second, and the Islanders come out swinging in period 3. You have a goal from Pellick, from Matt Martin, and from Anders Lee, and yeah, that's a hell of a comeback there for the Islanders. Blackhawks are looking to get off the mark as well as the Flyers are, so this is the first game of the season for both of these teams. So both looking to strike first blood, and it is comprehensively the Philadelphia Flyers. They have come out flying, no pun intended, a 6-1 win over the Blackhawks, and again they had this game almost finished in period number 1. 4-0 after one period, and 5-0 after two. And again, it was just about seeing the points out there, or seeing the time out there at the Wells Fargo. 3 minutes and 10 seconds all it took to score their first goal of the game, and from there on, it was fairly plain sailing for them. And finally, we get the Vegas Golden Knights against the San Jose Sharks. Both of these teams have played already. The San Jose Sharks won their first game. The Golden Knights lost in overtime, and now they've lost in regulation. So San Jose won the first game, and they've also won the second. They won the first game in Vegas. They've won the return game now in San Jose, 4-3. It was a very tight first quarter, lots of action in the first. Vegas were actually 2 goals up, as you can see. Yeah, they came out flying there, and then San Jose. It was a very, very action-packed first 5 minutes. Stastny, Paul Stastny, scoring after 1 minute and 10 seconds, and then Mark Stone doubled the lead after 3:06, and then Kevin LeBlanc. Yes, we'll go with that. Vlasic and Joe Thornton have by the 12 and a half minute mark had San Jose ahead, and then it was very tight for the rest of the game. However, San Jose hold on and take the win 4-3. So that is the first round of games complete. There's a full card, there's an action-packed card on the Saturday the 5th. We'll just see the standings just now. The Red Wings still haven't played, it seems, and neither have the Kings, so one more game it is. Sorry for those who were expecting this one to be a fairly quick one. Yeah, it's it's not been as quick, but this one, if I look at the next day, yes, the Devils are travelling to the Sabres, so they'll get their first game in, and the Kings are travelling to Edmonton. So we'll just call that the Gretzky game, shall we? As I have seen the 30 for 30, very good 30 for 30 as well, about the Gretzky trade. So we'll move on to the next day, and hopefully it won't skip over games that we don't want it to. And then we'll finally have all these, all the teams having played one game. San Jose, as you can see, leading the way in the Pacific with two wins and no losses. 2-0. The Golden Knights, having not won already this year, are still fourth, as they had an overtime loss. An overtime loss in there as well. And that has played those games, and I am not quite sure why. Okay, this is something that I will need to sort out. As you can see, the Red Wings have won their first game of the season, as have the Flyers, so I'll go back through them as well. And then I might as well play the day that we're in. I'm not too sure if this is because I'm not actually managing anyone. However, them. San Jose's left wing Evander Kane's suspension is now over. I didn't know he was suspended. memorable night for Patrick Hornquist. He scored 3 points, 3 goals, and no assists in just under 20 minutes of ice time. And the Washington Capitals centre Evgeny Kuznetsov, has his suspension is now over as well. So let's go back and see the scores for. Oh, it's taken over a couple of days. Wonderful. I was sure I'd only click the next day. Anyway, so on the Friday, the Saturday, there was 13 games. Yes, 13 games. The Ducks take a victory at home to San Jose 3-1. The Coyotes they beat the Bruins 4-3. The Devils win on the road at Buffalo 5-4. Vancouver beat Calgary 3-1 in an all-Canadian clash again. The Wild travel to Colorado, score 6, concede 3, and take the W in that one. The Gretzky game is won by the Oilers, 4-3 in a comeback win. In fact, in a shootout win, it was. They were 3-2 down after the first period, won the second period 1-0, 3 each after overtime, and win in the shootout. Tampa Bay win in overtime against Florida, against the Panthers. The Red Wings win on the road to Nashville 2-1. The Senators win at home to the Rangers 3-0. Pittsburgh came out the traps flying and they beat Columbus 6-0. And the Blues are continuing a good start to the season. They win 5-2 at home to the Stars. The Maple Leafs win come from they actually have a very good third period. Win 4-2 against the Canadiens in a big rivalry clash there. And the Capitals beat the Hurricanes 2-1 in Washington. 3 games the next day as well. The Hurricanes will actually the Hurricanes won 4-3 at home to the Lightning. The Red Wings host the Dallas Stars and lose 5-2, and the Islanders have their shooting boots on, or their shooting skates on. They know the way to the net. They win 7-3 over the Winnipeg Jets at home. So we'll just finish off with these two games here, as I think I know what I clicked before to go through all the different ones, so I will not be doing that again, but we'll just finish off with these two games here. We have Buffalo travelling to Columbus to play the Blue Jackets. Buffalo have one win and one shootout, one regulation win, one shootout win for 3 points to start the season. Columbus have 1 win, 1 loss so far. And in the pre-season, the Blue Jackets actually went to Buffalo and won 4-1, if that counts for anything. It does not, as Buffalo go out 5-4 winners in overtime. So the winning when it counts are the Sabres. So they take the regular season victory there. It's all well and good winning in pre-season, but it's when the actual season that it counts. Winning in the shootout there for Buffalo, and St. Louis travel to Toronto looking to continue their perfect start to the season. And they do. It is a 4-1 victory over the Maple Leafs in Toronto. So the fans at the Scotiabank Arena will not be happy at all. It was a very tight game in the first period. St. Louis went ahead in the second, and then in the third, they just pulled away to take the win. So we'll just show the standings just to end this episode. You've got Buffalo top of the Atlantic Division. They've got a 2-0-1 record so far. So they are doing well in their first 3 games. The Maple Leafs have split their first 4 games and sit second in the Atlantic. The Metropolitan, you have the Carolina Hurricanes top of the division there, with the Islanders not too far behind. You have in the Pacific, the Coyotes are perfect 2 from 2, as are the Edmonton Oilers. So both of them are joint top of the um, Pacific Conference. Arizona sitting top by way of Edmonton having needing a shootout in one of their games as well. And in the Central Division, the St. Louis Blues perfect 3 from 3 so far. They've got a 7 goal, a positive 7 goal difference there, so they're blowing teams out of the water. You've also got Minnesota on a perfect 2-0 as well, but they're just a game behind, having not played as many games. So that's where we're sitting just now. Obviously, you've got your conferences there. We'll get further into that as we get closer to the playoffs. So that will wrap up um, the first episode of this simulation. This one was a bit more rough and ready than the baseball and the NBA ones, due to the fact that I'm not as I've had some IT issues with this one, but they'll be the kinks will be flattened out going forward, I can assure you. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.